All right. Well, welcome to the Master of Arts in Live Entertainment Management Information Session. Thank you for joining. My name is Rashonda Butler. I'm one of the student advocates here at the University of Miami. I do work with students to ensure that they have a smooth transition into the online environment. This program is definitely one of our more popular programs, so we're excited to be able to potentially welcome you into this fantastic group. We are going to cover a lot of information tonight, but before we do, a few housekeeping items. To start this session, we'll take about 45 minutes. We do understand that your time is very valuable, and we want to be courteous of that. So if for any reason you do need to leave, just know that a recording of this session will be available afterwards. In addition, we will be doing a Q&A. This session is geared toward the content of this program. We do have both faculty and alumni joining us tonight. So please feel free to send us any questions that you may have, and we'll do our best to answer them. If you do have questions related to admissions, such as financial aid, admissions deadlines, criteria to apply, we do encourage you to contact an enrollment advisor. Their contact information is listed. So I would like to go ahead and turn this over to Andrea Jimenez. She is the new Director of Frost Online Programs.
Thank you so much, Rashonda, for that. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us. We truly appreciate it. We're very excited for this session. My name is Andrea Jimenez. I am, yes, the new program director for Frost Online. I have been with the programs now for around, I am officially in week 7, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely hit the ground running when I came into the department. So excited to be here and really excited to connect with you all and really get these questions answered for you so you can move forward in your journey academic-wise. So without further ado, we have our amazing panelists here. First and foremost, our awesome program director, Gary Wood. He's also an assistant professor of practice in the Department of Music, Media, and Industry. Soon, Ray Sanchez. He is our Associate Dean for Strategic Initiatives and Innovation, Chair and Professor of the department as well. He will be here soon. He's actually in class at the moment, but he will be here shortly. And then we have 2 amazing alumni. We have Mr. Michael DeMarco, and we have TJ. TJ, I want to make sure I say your last name correctly. Shaper, is that correct? Shaper?
It's Scopper, like ska music.
Got it. Scop. Oh, perfect. It's fitting. Amazing, amazing. Scopper. So without further ado, these are our panelists, and we will jump straight into questions. First and foremost, let's get in with our amazing program director, Gary. Gary, this question goes to you first. Can you tell us a bit about your role within the University of Miami and how you interact with the online masters in live entertainment management students, please?
Well, thank you and welcome everybody. I am the program director. So first and foremost, I'm looking at sort of the over 30,000 foot level in terms of how the program is running itself and is it meeting the needs of students both on campus and online. We're constantly making decisions and making adaptations because times change, and we want to make sure that what we offer and the way we offer it is working for people out there in the world who want to be part of it. So I look at it from, the very, very upper level, but I also work on it from the ground too. In fact, today I'm going through grading from courses that just finished. So it's, I'm on every end of it. I don't teach every single class. I teach many of the classes in the program, but Michael DeMarco's here is an example of one of the wonderful colleagues I have who teaches courses in the program, among others. And so I'm kind of at it from every angle. And I will just finish by saying, although we've been offering this degree online for a while now, and we're learning, what's working and what we need to fix, it is constantly adapting. Arts and entertainment couldn't be a more dynamic field. So we have to, because we want to be in the front edge, we want to talk about what's going on today, we're constantly adapting and changing curriculum and ideas to make sure that we are hitting the market and hitting the students' needs with what's really happening today. So in answer to the question, I'm kind of 360 involved in the program, and I love it. I'm so honored to be part of it, and I'm here to help.
Thank you so much, Gary. Fantastic. So let's kick it on over to our alumni. Michael, we will start with you. And then TJ, please go ahead and answer the question as soon as Michael wraps it up for himself. So here's the question. Why did you choose the University of Miami and the Frost School of Music for your online graduate program, Michael?
Right. So I would be what is called a comeback student, even though I'm prematurely gray. I was a music business major as an undergrad way long a time ago. Sometimes I describe it as that was a time when if you talked about a stream, it had more to do with fishing than music, right? So it's a completely different era. I wanted to come back and get a master's degree in order to get two things. One, a little more background on the arts side, because I make my living as a talent agent and have for the past 25 years, mostly in the pop field. And I wanted to get a little more exposure to the arts side. My personal background is in arts. I have a personal background in studying orchestral conducting, and I'm a regular in Philharmonic opera world, even though I make my living in the pop world. So I wanted to get into a program that had a little bit toward the arts side. When I was shopping for a master's degree program, I found that many master's degree programs that offered an arts administration degree had a very broad umbrella that if you dig down a little bit, it had a lot to do with museum administration, which I really had no interest in. I was always on the music side. So I always knew the reputation of Frost. I knew the master's degree program that was being offered, but what particularly drew me in was that it was very music focused on the arts administration side. And I know that there's 2 degree programs here, but that's what attracted me right to this specific degree.
Hello. So upon completing my undergraduate degree, I was a high school band teacher. And then I got all these different offers to basically quit my job to then hit the road. And at heart, I'm an educator. I come from a long line of educators. And so education is very important to me. But in New York State, in order to keep your teaching certification, you have to get your master's within 5 years. But I was going on the road, and I ended up being on the road for 7 years, for 200 to 250 days out of the year. And so at the time, I decided, okay, if I'm going to go on the road, I have to get my master's because I want to teach one day. And my little brother was working on a degree in French horn at Frost. And he's like, oh, did you hear about this new online program? And I also really believe that to be an effective educator, you need to have your pulse on all things within your subject areas. And so all the things in the degree were not only the things I was doing, but the things that I was interested in learning more about, to not just teach, but to do as well. And the fact that it was online was amazing. I remember there was like a tour management component in one of the courses, and my tour manager basically took me on as his intern. So I'd be playing trombone during the set. Then after the show, I'd go with him and settle the show, and I'd deal with like the different production managers. And he'd be like, okay, so that person at the venue is doing this person's doing that. Talking about like touring logistics, from catering to tour bus drivers to etc. And then I got into working with different managers, different booking agents, and it just worked out amazingly. And it was like the right pace. I don't know what it is now, but I was taking, I think, 2 courses every 7 weeks or so, and it was like the perfect life school balance. And it was it really sparked my interest into doing other things. And maybe we can get into that a little later, but yeah, that's why I chose Frost.
Thank you so much, TJ. And thank you, Michael, so much as well for your input there. Gary, so off to you. We have another question here. How is the curriculum for this program designed? And how is it different from other entertainment programs at other graduate schools? Are there any key skills and learnings that you can identify that this program focuses on in particular?
Well, the first thing that I want to quickly say is the key to this is the individual that is participating in the program. It's not a program that we blast out all sorts of information for, in sort of some mass way, in some equal way for everybody. It's flipped on its head. And I think that's one thing that makes it different than the programs, because it's really based on what the individual needs and wants to pursue. So even in individual courses, and Michael can speak to a little bit of that too. I mean, we have to find out what is that student's angle when it comes to that area. What do they need to know? What is it that they're pursuing? So it's not kind of a traditional program in the sense we just talk about history or sort of the contempt, the traditional best practices. It's fine, but we're really about the students at the center of this. So we adapt to what the needs are of the people that come to us. So, and live entertainment is so broad that we can have people from every spectrum of the industry coming to us. So I love the fact that we are very unique in the sense that we work with the individual to meet their needs. And that's why there's elective opportunities. There's basically 10 courses, 5 of which are electives. So a person could focus in theater, a person could focus on operations, and all across the spectrum, because they have these 5 courses of electives to sort of vary what they want to focus in. And there's 5 that are required, and those 5 required are a way for us to really get to know the individual across these various courses, like legal aspects and the global live entertainment and so forth. That's where I really kind of get to know that individual, and then they can branch out in their own way to foster their particular interest through electives. So again, it's individual focused. It's about today, about what's happening in the industry today, because my mindset is that people who come to me want to improve their situation in their current job, or they want to get into the industry and so forth. So it's a very sort of classroom to career mindset. So that's my immediate answer to that question.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. TJ, let's start with you now. So in terms of, we're now jumping into networking and relationship building. So what is the networking and relationship building aspect of the program like with our online, with the online cohort that you were a part of? So what did that networking and relationship building look like for you, be it student, faculty? And then Michael, we'll kick it off to you.
Well, I know at least just the name, like having University of Miami's Frost School of Music on my resume carries a lot of weight. But it's really nice because usually it's like bringing up University of Miami is an after the fact thing where it really like seals the deal in developing relationships with people. So I'm talking to like now I own a music venue in town. I do all the talent buying and promoting for that. And so I'm talking to dozens of agents and managers every day. And people are like, oh, you went to University of Miami? And I'm like, yeah. And then that just like really locks it in. It's amazing what that does. And so that's been really exciting. And it's kind of like a weird relief where it's like, okay, you know what you're doing. They're like, okay, you probably know what you're doing. So it's just it's a stress relief when dealing with people, especially with the high volume of emails that I have to deal with. And it's amazing how many people have had Frost touch their career in one way or another, because it's not just alumni, but it's people that have connection. People get very excited about talking about the U. So.
Yeah, so TJ definitely talks about the reputation that precedes us whenever we talk about Frost School of Music, which is always terrific. I'll just touch upon the in-school networking aspect, because I think it was definitely a concern of mine when I was signing up. And this was during the pandemic, of course, so everybody was kind of at home, Zooming in to take a class, and you didn't really know what you were signing up for as far as, well, am I going to get to know anybody in class? So to demystify that a little bit for anybody that's curious, every class has discussion boards where people are constantly sharing information, answers to prompts and questions. And most of these questions, if I could speak to Professor Wood a little bit, what runs through the arteries of his courses is that in every course, each assignment, each challenge is a real world challenge. And I think, Professor Wood, you always kind of like to say it, you have to answer the question as if you're wearing the hat of working in that business, working at that talent agency, or working at that performing arts center, and how you would handle these challenges and problems. And to quote you, submit the work as if you were going to be reviewed by your superiors at work. So all of this is practical. None of it is theoretical. And that's a very attractive aspect of what we do here. These are real challenges that are presented throughout the coursework, real answers. It's not just about, in a perfect world, handling it this way would be great. It's about, well, these are the challenges that are constantly presented in this coursework, and this is how you kind of handle it. So that's terrific. There's also live sessions during each of the courses where the professors will, open up for a live session each week. Most, professors have it as optional, so it's not like you have to be there Wednesday at 7 o'clock. But certainly sometimes, students will Zoom in, get to know each other. We get to speak about the state of the industry, contemporary issues going on, and anybody's career ideas and how to expand upon that. I know that in every course throughout the curriculum, each professor has been extremely accessible when it comes to giving career advice, because everybody knows in this master's curriculum, we're doing this not because we just want a couple of letters after our name, it's because we want to advance our careers. All right.
Thank you so much for that, Michael, and TJ as well. We appreciate that. So Gary, we're going to kick it off over to you again. What are some different career paths that you have seen graduates embark on upon completion of the program? So different career paths that we've seen graduates embark on.
Well, the University of Miami, and I want to thank TJ and Michael for their kind words about the program, the school, which I'm so proud to be a part of. But, we have a very entrepreneurial spirit. And I know a lot of places say that. I can't say whether they do or not, but I can say that it's 1,000% true at the University of Miami. So while some folks will want to work for a major organization, let's say Live Nation, their goal is to get in with AEG or Live Nation or something, which is fantastic. But many of the students want to build their own business as well, which is constantly happening. They want to kind of go their own path, maybe managing artists or doing their own art, presenting, owning their own venue, and so it's a tricky question to answer, in the sense that we have students working around the world in almost every facet of the entertainment industry. I just mentioned that we have an alum who's the box office manager at the largest performing arts center in the world in Beijing. And we have another one working in Florida managing that box office. But we have people with the Los Angeles Philharmonic, the Colorado Symphony, the Seattle Symphony in terms of that world. We have alum who are working in dance, both owning their own dance company and working for major dance companies. We have alum working for Live Nation and Hard Rock. One that's doing talent buying for a cruise agency or cruise line. So it's we're not limiting people's opportunity to go in the direction that they want to go to. That's something that really is helpful for me to know when a student comes into the program, what they're thinking about, so we can continue those conversations to look at opportunities and class activities and networking that gives them that immediate connection to making that happen. It's not something we should talk about when they're finishing. It's something we want to talk about, from day one.
Thank you for that, Gary. We appreciate it. Michael, we'll kick it off over to you now. So we touched a little bit upon the both of you realizing that a graduate degree would be a next step, either for it was a requirement or you needed to do it, right? What in terms of, so in terms of taking that next step right into that path, not touching too much upon that, but what were the skills that you both believe you have gained as a result of now having achieved this master's degree? What are the skills essentially? And if you could both expand upon that, Michael, if you will.
Right. So very quickly, I kind of knew I was in a stage in my life where if I wanted to teach at a college level, I would need the credential to do that. I was, really kind of flattered to see that as soon as I graduated last May, I was asked to come on board here at UOnline to teach the concert tour management course. I've been a talent agent for more than 25 years, so I've lived it. for many, many, many years, and I was very glad to participate in it. And I've taught it a couple of times now. So I get to see the program both as a student that went through the entire process, as well as an instructor, albeit, from afar here in New York City. But on the other side, if I could just relate it to one of the courses, the arts presenting course, you have to do a project, and you can pick pretty much any project you like, but it has to be fleshed out, completely with regard to budgeting and sponsorship and creating an entire project to make it fly. I created one. It put you through the whole experience of putting on a nonprofit classical performance, and in my case, it was in Central Park. It just so happens that over the past 6 months, one of my associates from Juilliard, who is an opera conductor, wanted to put on an opera concert in Central Park this June. And I've been consulting with him as far as his sponsorship details and really putting it together. So it's really like my arts project just recently has come to life. And we're doing that on June 26th in Central Park. His organization is Opera Italiana in the Air. And he has sponsorship, and he goes to different cities and he puts on Italian opera programs. All for free, all for free. It's all for free to the public. Yeah, so on both sides, both the credentialing side, the teaching side, and even the arts project, arts consulting side, I've kind of covered it all.
If I can just jump in and say that Michael and TJ bring up important points for me, is that the program isn't centered around me, although I'm the director. The program is centered around the knowledge that everybody brings to it. All of the students come with amazing backgrounds from different countries and different experiences, different levels of expertise from the industry that we need to share with each other. I learn more, I think, at the end of a course than anybody else. And that's a really critical nature of this. If we don't nurture that, it's such a loss. So, and I admit, I think I could do more with discussion boards and I can do more with the conversations. I end up doing a lot of one-on-one work, but we really need to nurture that, because it's not people who don't know what they're doing, they come into the program. Really, everybody comes with these unique skills and backgrounds that need to be nurtured and grown. And it really comes because we get such remarkable people that are interested in University of Miami and this program, which again, I'm very thankful for.
Thank you, Gary. TJ, if you will, what skills do you believe you gained? If you can expand on that. Thank you.
Well, what I loved about the program was I didn't necessarily get answers, but I got the tools to find the answers, because the answers are always changing. But the way to navigate towards getting answers and having things happen is the important part, I think. So going off of like what Michael was saying about that final project, I graduated in, I think it was 2017 in December, and my project was this music festival that graduated in December, announced the music festival in January, and then in March, the project became a music festival, and we sold it out, and it was in the black in the first year. And it was almost 50 different bands at 6 music venues here in Ithaca, New York, where I live, all simultaneously over the course of 4 days. And yeah, it was amazing. But it was because of that project that happened. And then that led to all these different things. And even back then, I would never have imagined owning a music venue. But here I am. And it all stems back to those experiences.
Thank you for that. Thank you, TJ. So Gary, in terms of how the program, in your opinion, how do you believe it really gets in terms of the practical knowledge, right? So for students to master that deep academic, those principles that we have in this program, how do you think, well, first of all, like how have you seen that come to fruition in your own experience, in terms of how it empowers them to just become leaders in the industry of live entertainment? If you can expand on that, please.
Well, I'll answer the question this way. First, is saying that I typically balance the courses between a book or textbook that I believe is worthy of the students to go through in depth and to keep on their professional shelf, because those books are ones that I have, really chosen carefully that do give that best practices knowledge. So it's there for them to go through, and there might be a quizzes, there might be some work in terms of creating outlines from the book, just to make sure people are getting into there. But in terms of the parts that instructors create, Michael and I and others, it's more of the up to date. This is what's happening in Miami, or this is what's happening in New York, or this is what's happening in the world. So we balance it that way. It's not one is just historic best practices and one is all, we try to balance that as best as we can. We're very fortunate too. I see my colleague Ray Sanchez is coming online. We're so incredibly fortunate at the Frost School to have a remarkable, it's stunning the talent that we have amongst our professors in terms of what they do and what they know. And so I'm constantly learning and calling upon them. And of course, it's an amazing resource that we have at the university that really funnels into this program and has such major influence. I mean, we have a rock drumming coach who has played with all the greats around the world and traveled with the Bee Gees and all this. And it's like, I learned so much from him when we talk, that really does influence what I'm thinking of what's really going on out there. So I hope I'm answering the question by saying that all of the practical knowledge, the fundamentals is there, and that we will review. But the bulk of what we're looking at is how do we quickly apply that to what's going on in the world right now.
Thank you so much, Gary. Ray, thank you for joining. Everybody knows that you were in class and you're running in here, so we appreciate you for being here, Ray. If you will, being mindful of time, but please, can you tell us who you are, what you do in terms of your relation to Frost Online programs, and we'll jump into a question here about the live entertainment program that we want to hear from you.
Right. Thanks, everybody, and it's good to see all of you. Michael, yeah, DJ, good to see you. So I'm Ray Sanchez. I'm a professor at the Frost School of Music in the Department of Music, Media, and Industry. I'm also chair of that department. And when I'm not busy enough, I'm also an associate dean at the school. But I like to say, really, I'm just a guitar player that happen to have all these other interests as well. But I have a lot of fondness for this program in particular because the vast part of my career professionally, and so teaching is my act 2 in life. Before I started teaching, I was fully self-employed in the music business over almost 25 years. And I would say easily 2/3 of my revenue during that time came directly from my involvement with live music and live entertainment. And that's not unusual for virtually anybody in this business. Artists for years have known that if they're not out there playing and performing, they're not going to really make any substantial amount of money. It's ongoing. It's exciting. It's fast paced. It's not for everyone. But if you're the kind of person that is easily bored and would never dream of being in an office like peddling spreadsheets or whatever, and like as the T-shirts for the ShowPro company, which is a company that is pretty well known in this business, as those T-shirts say, if you love the smell of diesel in the morning, then maybe this career path might be for you. No, it's I've had amazing experiences as a player. I've been on stages in some of the biggest venues in the world. Have toured with major artists. I don't know how many miles my guitar case has on it, but it's in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. It's a part of our business that is never going to go away. Things will change, and even what we mean by the term live anymore might expand. let's put it that way, in the future. You know, chain smokers did a tour, quote unquote tour, this last fall. They toured for 2 months, and they were seen by over 25 million people. How's that possible? Well, it's possible on the metaverse. And so I actually see the future of our business as very exciting, because I only see it expanding. And people just like to go out and experience live music, and you know, it's ever changing. And again, if that's your personality type, that you like the idea of a fast-paced, ever-changing environment like that, then this is probably absolutely something you should explore.
Thank you, Ray, for that. Appreciate it. DJ, Michael, let's go ahead and wrap up with the last question for you both. And if you could tell us a highlight, it doesn't have to be one, but maybe one or two, but a highlight in terms of your experience in the online live entertainment management program, be it where you had an aha moment with a concept, or you were able to make connections in real world, which you all touched upon that, but a highlight, something that you want that definitely like just has stuck with you even after graduation. TJ, please.
For me personally, and I did this, I looked into this, I completed this master's program in 46 different states and in France. And I was getting paid working as a trombonist while doing it. And that is, I mean, there's all sorts of highlights within the courses and whatnot, but that's my favorite part of the whole thing looking back. And now after like revisiting all of y'all, I kind of want to like do it again. And I'm not just trying to sell the program. Like, I really think that I'd be curious with my perspective now, if I took the courses over again, how that would go. Because I know it would just make me a stronger professional in the industry. But yeah, that's my highlight.
Thank you so much. That's, I mean, wow, awesome. Michael.
Yeah, so for me, and I already said that, the credential is important and the arts project is important, but for me, running through the entire program, that makes it work really is the dedication of the professors involved. That has really impressed me from the beginning of the program. It has held through right through the end of the curriculum after 10 courses, and even my relationship, continuing with the school. The dedication is phenomenal. Professor Sanchez, you heard me say it before. If you're someone zooming in and watching this, and you've always been a little confused about music copyright, or maybe you have no musical background and you just heard about music copyright, if you take Professor Sanchez's course in music copyright, there's no way you're getting out of that course without really knowing copyright. You're going to know it. And he's going to be with you, each week, making sure, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and you're going to end up really knowing music copyright. That's a tough subject for a lot of people. And, especially if you're in the business, you hear different things from different reports and articles and sources, reading Billboard. But once you take that copyright course, you know copyright. And that's really an achievement on the faculty side, on Professor Sanchez's side, that his dedication to making sure each person that comes through that door, figuratively, on Zoom, gets to know copyright and digests it and knows it. And I'll say the same thing, Professor Wood, compliment coming your way. Even though I'm someone that has been in the business a long time, to be in a course and, for you to, cultivate an idea of thinking about just take, for instance, I can name 10 of these things, but a personal mission statement for performing arts, right? Like, what drives you? What makes you want to work in this business? And to be kind of internally probing your mind as to why you wound up here, very important. And sometimes, you could be doing this a long time, but you don't take the time to be as introspective, to really understand why you do what you do and what motivates you and what makes you good at what you do, because you're motivated by it. Where, a lot of people say, well, I love this because I have a passion for music. Yeah, but more than that, to be a success, you have to have more than just a passion for music. You have to be driven to know why you do what you do. And, that's really terrific. So for me, you could brag about the curriculum, you could brag about the real life experience that's brought to it, many things, the reputation of the school. But for me, what makes this place work is the faculty. It's their dedication to their subject matter. No matter where you go in this program, if you're learning publishing, you're learning it from Professor Redmond that's been in music publishing his entire life. You know, if you're learning, record industry management, you're learning it from Professor Elton that's been in the record label world her whole life. So these are all specialists that are teaching these courses, and that's hard to replicate someplace else.
Thank you, Michael, for that. Awesome. So Ray, wrapping up here, if you could just answer one more question for us, and then Rashonda, I'm passing it off to you. So in terms of what gets you up in the, well, both you and Gary, what gets you both up in the morning to do what you do for this program in particular? If you can give us one of your highlights for why you do what you do as educators in this program, and stand a little bit within 1 to 2 minutes would be great. Ray, let's start with you, please.
Yeah. Well, my alarm clock is what gets me up in the morning, but no, couldn't resist on that one. No, it is so much fun to watch what happens when graduates go out and they start doing things. That's really the thing. So yeah, TJ, I remember when you were on the road in my class, and zooming in from wherever, I have, there was another graduate of the program who actually has been a musical director on the road quite a bit, and is still doing quite well in the music business. Another one that just was able to make a very nice career move, and he was a road musician for a long time and is now settling into a company in Nashville. I just like seeing what happens down the line when I get on LinkedIn and I see so-and-so presenting at South by Southwest. Oh, geez, I remember when he was in my copyright class, or whatever. So I think, look, that's pretty standard for every professor to say that about their alums, but it's still, it doesn't matter. It's still fun and very cool to see that. And, I hope to help along the way. I know a bit about some things and I love sharing that with others. But I think Gary will, say the same kind of things. It's really very much about the success. We're in this because we're passionate about what we do. This is not a field that, this is a passion-driven field. Let's put it this way. Anybody in this really shouldn't be also considering, I don't know, forensic accounting or something on the other side. Although maybe they could. There is such a thing as a tour accountant, by the way. But that's a different story. But it's passion driven, and it's not for everybody. But for the people that it's for, they don't imagine themselves doing anything else. And that's what I want to come to. And by the way, I just want to say one last thing, quick little pitch, because a number of us, including Professor Alton, myself, and Andrea, are going to be at the NAM show, National Association of Music Merchants, in April. And we're going to be having a networking event that we're inviting current students, alums, and anyone interested in our program to attend. So we'll make sure that word gets out for anybody who is in the Southern California area. It's going to be in Anaheim, or that might be attending the NAM show. If you don't know what that is, look it up, NAMM. And we'll make sure that our colleagues at UOnline get that information as well to anyone that we're speaking to that wants to meet us in person. That's always a great networking event. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Gary, one last thing, and then Rashawn, then we're out of here. Thank you.
Well, for me, what gets me fired up is the fact that in Ray and Michael and everybody, it's I meet so many people that come from such remarkably diverse backgrounds, whether it's countries or languages or perspectives and skills and expertise. I love the fact that, we look at our alums now from so many different countries and working in so many different places. And I just absolutely love that. I have a little map at home, with the pins in it, where a world map with the pins in it, where everybody's from. I just love that. It opens up a remarkable gift to my life and a gift to everybody's life to, learn so much from people from different areas of life. And I do have to say, that if I can make 1 ounce of difference in terms of helping someone find their path, excuse me, I'm absolutely thrilled that if I'm able to do that, it absolutely fires me to get up every single day. Today, I had several meetings with individual students working on their special projects across the, and it's so cool to hear what their ideas are, what they think is right, what they should do, and where they're going to do this. And so it's like, wow, I'm a kid in a candy store. So it's no problem for me I have fallen in love with what I do here at the University of Miami, and I feel that every single day.
Thank you, Rashonda. Please take it away.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. I really do hope that everyone found this session to be beneficial. For those who are considering the program, we are currently accepting applications for the summer start, which begins Monday, May 8th. The early admissions deadline is going to be on Monday, March 13th. It is free to apply, so there is nothing stopping you. Okay. In addition, as a way to say thank you for attending this session, we want to offer you a $300 deposit fee waiver code. It will be applied to your application once you submit. Again, please make sure you get your applications in early. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to our enrollment advising team. This does wrap up our session for tonight. I want to thank you all again for joining us, and we hope you have a great evening. Thank you.
Just one real quick thing, if you don't mind me saying, because there was a question about South by Southwest, if anybody was going to be there, unless Professor Page is going to be there, which I'm not sure. The timing this year was odd because of a lot of events are coming back from COVID and they've changed kind of their schedule. So that's normally something that I would have considered going to this year. But that I know of, none of our professors will be there. Like I said, several of us are going to be at NAM. However, there's a number of our alums that are going to be there that are already working in the industry. And anybody that's interested, I'll be glad to send a, let you know. We can do it through Andrea. Andrea, you can coordinate that with the UOnline team. Anybody has any questions of who they might want to talk to at South by that are our alums that are already working in the industry, be glad to connect. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
you all.
Thank you all. Have a good night.